don't really know how I follow that. But as Hard said, obviously his establishment does so much and his chains, but everybody here can do something. Just wanted to point out that this year, 2016, is actually a leap year. So traditionally, a lot of women in the room may ask a man to marry them as a tradition, but I'm personally excited because I think there is a whole day to dedicate to just eating and drinking. So I think I'm going to take my team from tourism in Northern Ireland just out for the day and just eat and drink all day. So it's a whole extra day to do that. Basically, what I want to do is, I know there's people in the room as well who are doing a lot of things. I can see Wendy there, and Wendy will be working up Tourism Focus on Food conference at the end of February. I see Jerry here with his new gin. I know there's lots and lots of stories to tell, and if we were not so large a group, I'd probably go around and pick out all those stories, but we probably haven't got time to do that today. But when we meet back for tea and coffee, please let us know. We are dying to hear about all the stories of the things and the ideas that you have, because I know there are many. What I want to do is just give you a wee update about the story so far. We have had a lot of people telling us what they're doing right across Northern Ireland, and we've been trying to capture that in lots of different channels. Not going to go through all the detail of this, but in January, obviously we had the banquet last week. We are delighted that the Belfast Telegraph and many of the dailies, etc., press have picked up all the stories. We have Tesco's who've just put an investment of £500,000 into local food, and I'll tell you a wee bit about that. We are issuing our own press. The BBC Good Food Show will be coming to Belfast in October, which is very exciting. And we can tell you more about that if you need the detail. And a lot of the gateways have said that they are now not only doing food at the gateways, but they're actually dressing the gateways. So when people come in for the first time into the airport, they can learn about our food and the year and all the activities ahead of it. As Hard said, next Friday, Ulster Friday. So if you're not able to produce something, or you're actually not a food producer, surely we can go somewhere that Friday and celebrate the fry. As Hard said, he's picked up a lot of these. There's lots of schools competitions, local authorities are doing things, and there's lots of offers on as well, and we're hoping to have our announcement next week of who's managed to get some events funding as well. The usual things are Farmhouse Breakfast Week. Belfast are having their Out to Lunch Festival, which they do every year, but they're obviously out waiting into the lunch. These are just a few of the images that I captured. I literally said to people last week, could you send me some images of what you're doing across Northern Ireland? So Balik are having their day as well. We've got Newry Council are doing Breakfast Month. They're advertising it. We've got folks from Yahi, if they want to shout out. Where are they? Yo, hi. They're in the Europa bus station centre. If you haven't seen them, thanks for coming along. And they're doing some fantastic things with obviously local produce and hopefully going from strength to strength. We've got Armagh, where we were yesterday, and they've taken the brand and used it in their own, and obviously celebrating the Bramley apple. So as you can see, a lot of people have lifted the logos. And as Hard said, actually, if you look on your tables, there are brand guidelines, which is a little white book, and there's a USB stick. And on the USB is all of the branding, the ribbons, etc. It's all downloaded there, so you don't have to go onto the website, and you can literally lift it off that and have a play. And I know somebody has approached me earlier and said, I'd love to put that on a window, how do I do that? So if you go into the brand guidelines, you find you're stuck, just come back to the office and we'll make sure we tell you what you can do with that. Going on to Love Local, obviously February month, I'm not going to go into all the details. It is Tato's 60th anniversary, which is quite exciting. We're going to have a lot of stuff around Valentine's. We also have our spring campaign. I mentioned Tesco's had picked up and put an investment of £500,000 into the campaign. And I got challenged early in the week when I started talking about Tesco's, and somebody said, I thought this was all about the artisan food producers and the smaller producers. But I kind of thought, well, if you actually look beyond what Tesco's are doing, Tesco's are actually pointing their shoppers to the local produce in store, which is fantastic. And here's how they've actually used some of the imagery to pick up the local people. They've put a banner, this is in the airport, so when you come in, you can see this, so anybody arriving will have no doubt that this year of food or drink. And they've done some tactical marketing as well, just on their trolleys as you roll around. I was in Armagh yesterday, and I was talking about Tesco's, and a chap put his hand up in the room and said, "Hello, I'm Joe from Asda." So as I talked about Tesco's, so we know that a lot of the supermarkets, and somebody had said there's lots of supermarkets are coming ahead, and it's brilliant that they are, because the more critical mass that can get behind it. So yes, it is about the small producer, but isn't it great that people are putting, if people have the budgets, are actually putting some money into Northern Ireland? And I just wanted to show you a quick video. You may spot some people you know in this video, and this is when Tesco's launched their campaign. So.
Today we're at Tesco Extra in Knocknagunny to launch Northern Ireland's Year of Food and Drink. At Tesco, you may be aware that government departments and industry organisations are working together with the food industry to celebrate local food all through this year. So today at Knocknagunny we were launching the Tesco Activity Plan, which will be 12 months long and has a value of £500,000, which we have agreed with our local producers.
Very exciting morning for us, and I just want to start by giving a huge welcome to you all to this, the launch of the Tesco Year of Food.
Tesco have always been a first-class supporter of local food and drink, and over the years they've done a lot of initiatives, but this really takes it on to another level. It's just something that we as an organisation, as Food and I, we couldn't do on our own, we couldn't achieve it. But the visibility they've given us in store, at events, and even at Belfast City Airport arrivals, when everybody arrives, is fantastic. And it's a great sense of place for Northern Ireland, and it's great they've got the producers featured in it too, because it makes it feel really about home and about the real people who make the real food.
So obviously Asda and all the other ones will be following suit. I think Tesco's just luckily have got in a bit sooner than anybody else. I'm not going to go into all the detail about all the months, because we want to have a bit of fun with that in the workshop, but to give you a flavour, February is Love Local. We have an ambition to do a pan-Northern Ireland pancake flip, which is a bit of a Guinness Book of Records thing, which we're trying to come together with. We're also looking at sustainability messages, health messages coming through. I'd mentioned, Belfast City Council will have a conference at the end of February. It's also the opportunity to, tell our food stories, and that comes in March, which is Heritage Month. Going through Northern Ireland this week, what was appealed to me was every time we were in a different place. We started off in Derry, London Derry, and they had obviously their story. We moved through Enniskillen, and they were more about the locks and all of that. Then we went to Armagh, and obviously they were doing lots of wonderful things. Armagh apple ice cream and all sorts of ideas came out. So every time you go to a different destination, there's been different stories come out, and that's what we want to try to tease out today in our workshop. March, as says, Heritage Month. There's lots more happening in terms of the stories we can tell about our food, and it's really not the big stories necessarily. If your B&B is near somewhere, if there's a heritage story there, please, you can just make sure you tell us and let us know what it is. Mother's Day is there, and obviously there's lots of events started happening around that time. As the year goes on, you get a lot more happening. There's St. Patrick's, obviously, is a big festival as well. There we can tie into, and lots of different markets. We move into April, and I'm kind of warming up as I feel as if we're getting further into the year, and we have brewing and distilling, and we know that there's lots of new products out there. And I know Michelle, we were amazed just how many new products in the beer that have popped up. And then we're talking about partnerships again with brewing and distilling, and maybe getting out and starting thinking about how we promote those. Whizzing through to May's landscapes, we have the Balmoral show. We have a lot of people that will be out and about in May. And then we actually move through into June, which is Love Dairy. And I just love when we're up in Derry, they were obviously looking at their legendary ice cream day, which was one of the ideas that came out later in the week. So we've been capturing all of these ideas as we go, and we've got some great, fantastic local ice cream makers as well on our doorstep. So as I said, just to finally say, we've got all of the branding is on the little USBs today, and I suppose my ask is that everybody goes away today and thinks about how they can use that on some of their product or help somebody, or even just put it onto your footer on an email. If that is all you do, that'll be enough from today. So really, we have lots of help on tap back in the office. We're also looking at a new qualification with World Host, which is sales powered by service, which you can get more details. We're doing a pilot on that this month, and hopefully that will roll out a brand new qualification. And as I said, please just pick up the USBs, have a play around with it, but if you do get stuck, get me in the office. And we also have, as Hart said, we've got a Twitter account, which is #EnjoyNI. It's absolutely buzzing at the minute. So if you can just jump on and try to support us, that would be great. So quite a lot to do. If you do one thing after today, that would be more than enough. So thank you. And I'm going to pass over to Michelle from Food and I and just take a thanks, because Michelle and her team and Sharon here have been on the road with us all week. So we'll be looking forward to maybe a wee glass of wine or maybe a local beer later on. So I'll pass over to Michelle. Thank you.